Coming at you live, covering all things professional wrestling. A show by members of the Busted Open Nation. Welcome to the Nation's Corner. Here are your hosts, the Nation's Corner crew.
Good evening, Nation's Corner, friends, family, and fans. It is just after 7 o'clock on a Saturday night, and we are all the way live. John of South Jersey here, and joined by my usual cast of unusual subjects, and welcome to yet another edition of the Nation's Corner Live. And joining me, like I said, they are unusual, but they are my crew. Debhausen, the great and powerful, the purveyor of wine and wrestling herself, giving us all the angles leading up to this. What's up, Deb?
What's happening? It's another Saturday.
Yes, it is. And all the way, and quick side note aside, all you people that live out there, GFY, I say in Long Island, not on Long Island, but via Monrovia.
It's on Long Island. Come on. Stop.
No, it isn't. But anyway, all the way from Monrovia via the Long Island Expressway. Mongrovian Mike, what's up, brother?
What's happening, everybody? What's happening?
Nothing for nothing, guys. And this is kind of a first because I'm taking the lead tonight and going to try to direct. I'm going to be trying to herd cats, honestly, but with this. But anyway, we sit here before we go out, we go live, and we're like, what are we going to talk about? I don't know how we're going to. Wait a minute. Who am I kidding? What aren't we going to talk about? There is no possible way we could be live for the next 5 hours and not.
And we're not doing that.
Yeah, and we're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
We have lives, but there's so much going on with wrestling. And before we get into it, a quick shout out. Hey, front row, thanks for leaving me the keys to the Porsche. Appreciate it. We are unsupervised, and a quick shout out for the Nation's Corner on Location International Edition.
Yeah. They doing
front row and his lovely wife and their tremendous son are over across the pond and taking in the sights and sounds and beauty that is Paris, France. And which, just from the pictures that some of us have been seeing either online or in our text messages, they're having a wonderful time. The weather looks great. Yes. It's great view, beautiful scenery. The only problem I see is, unfortunately, it's the French people. It's they smell, they're arrogant. But that kind of leads me to the first thing I want to talk about. We've been watching and seeing WWE doing their shows over in Europe, and this is kind of a rant, kind of a PSA, but we suck. Us live wrestling crowds here in North America, and yes, I'm including you two Canuckians. You're in this as well. We suck as crowds. These European crowds have absolutely been blowing us out of the water these past 2 weeks. And everybody understands. Everybody there at the shows understand the assignment. They are engaged. They are noisy. They are everything that we should be.
They even got Paul Heyman to sing.
Exactly.
In what world did you ever think you would hear Paul Heyman sing?
Yes, and we were talking about it on Zoom as we do every night. And Deb, you brought up a great point that the kind of the secret or the European crowd's mentality is that soccer or football mentality. And you're right. You see all these like British Premier League or any of the overseas or European soccer games, and the crowds are noisy start to finish. They're chanting, they're singing, they're
You know what? And not taken away from soccer. All right, yeah, that's not my cup of tea, and I admit that it's very popular. But like when you think about it, like in America, we have so many sports and everything else to choose from. Like you don't have that. But there, soccer is like almost virtually the only sport you have, like all of Europe. You know, you have soccer and then
Yeah.
I guess you have like rugby and stuff. But
Yeah,
I mean,
they have other
is-
sports, but
soccer is
soccer is
like-
by far. Like,
yeah, but soccer in Europe is like if you just take football, baseball, basketball, and hockey here, that's the equivalent. It's like,
yeah,
you know, and it's rapidly, you know, becoming popular here. Obviously, with, you know, because it's popular in South America, we have, you know, we have a lot of Hispanic people here and a lot of other people from around the world. And around the world, that's pretty much the only sport they have that really attracts. And
Sure.
and there you go. And they get these chants going, and like it's
insane. Like so I grew up playing soccer. I played soccer my entire childhood up until I graduated high school. And so as a soccer player and soccer fan growing up in the 90s, like at the time, David Beckham playing for Manchester United was like the biggest thing in the soccer world. And I remember seeing like videos of Manchester United games and just like from an early age being exposed to the way European soccer crowds are.
yeah.
And it's just that's the culture. That's just their culture. And like I don't know how they do it so well of just singing and chanting fully in unison, like literally just manifested out of nowhere.
Very true, RJ.
Yeah.
But that's just what they do. and yeah, they, you know, they don't get to go to shows all the time. They don't get big shows there a whole lot. So when they do, it's like it's a big event. It's a big deal. No matter what company it is. We've seen it across the board.
Yeah, and you got to remember just think like they're up in Europe, it's a little more accommodating to people, you know, going out and having leisure time, as opposed to America, where we're like always work. Like I gotta work, gotta go to work. So then when it comes to a Monday night, a Wednesday night, and a Friday night, okay, so Friday nights, you're psyched because it's Friday night, you got the weekend coming up. But Mondays and Wednesdays, man, when you hit these towns like John, Pittsburgh, you know.
Right.
You know, you hit Long, you know, you hit Nassau Coliseum or the Guard, any of these places. The people are psyched, but it's like they'll reserve their energy because they worked all day. Then they got home. They had to corral the effing kids up and get them there. You know, get them ready.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to it.
Factors in it. It's not that we don't love wrestling. It's not, you know. Yeah. But yeah, we're spoiled because
difference in cultures.
We're spoiled because we can actually go. Like if we wanted to, we could be. You know, there's a show in New York, but then like you know, a few days later, there's a show in Connecticut, and you could drive.
Oh,
but
for real?
You know, when they go to Europe, when was the last time they go? It's not like they go to London every other month. They don't.
No.
If I had the money and the willingness to not sleep. There's so many shows that I could go to on any given week within a couple hours drive. Like I said, the willingness to not sleep, because that would require being out late and all that. And I just don't want to do that.
And Deb, Denise brought it up. Denise brought it up today. She said there's so much wrestling, and it pertains. It even applies to our own little crew here. You know that we pick and choose certain stuff to watch. John makes it a priority to watch Ring of Honor. And GCW. You make it a priority to watch, you know, all of the Dynamite, the Collision, and you know, and then TNA, and you know, so you sacrifice this one or that one, or you don't. You can't. Some of us can't afford this service, so we don't get that. You know, this and that. So, but we all love wrestling equally, and we watch what we have to watch, you know. Neil and Ezra,
and we talk about that all the time.
2 a.m. to watch.
Oh my God,
you know,
keeping up with New Japan is like a job in of itself.
That's a chore.
That's for insomniacs. Those are the insomniacs that keep up with New Japan live.
Yeah,
especially here.
We're going to watch it while they drive.
Yeah, thank God Neil has to be at work early in the morning, so he gets up a little extra early and while he's waiting, around, he catches up on it.
Crazy.
It is a chore. I've tried it before, and believe me, if you say, especially if you're on the East Coast, if you say, I'm going to stay up and watch the show, that is bullshit.
No, it is. All right, but as a public service announcement, fans, we're all fans. We all love what we love, and we all love wrestling. Be better. Just overall, be better. We are the standard bearers when it comes to wrestling fans. You know, we cannot be being shown up. We already won the war. If it wasn't for us, they all be speaking German anyway. We have to, we are the world power, and we.
You know what? Fuck it, right now. Oh, John, South Jersey. Oh, John in South Jersey. Oh, John in South Jersey. All right, that's it.
I work with children. Somebody help me.
Your children.
Hey, listen, we've opened. You know what? If you want to say one thing, that we all yeet. No matter where Jay goes, man.
We all eat.
It could be on Long Island. It could be in Berlin. It don't matter. We're going to eat. And everybody gets blown out.
It's a new slogan for world peace. We all eat.
All right. Let's get into it since we were talking about crowds in Europe. SmackDown last night was in London.
Yes.
Right? Yes,
it was.
And a good show. Did it seem like a long 3 hours?
Elder? I didn't watch.
Oh, did it seem like a whole 3 hours? No. This SmackDown did go a little faster, and
okay.
It was okay. It was okay. Last week was a little bit of a drag, and
right.
It's weird because I was saying, like, how do they, like, so they switched around. So Netflix, they have the freedom, so they've been going a good strong 240,
Right.
So
well,
that is perfect.
I want to touch on that after this point.
And SmackDown now, we figured, you know what, you guys were on USA. It is the same company. We know it's a different brand, blah blah blah. But how could they not pivot and just provide 3 hours? Is it because Is it because they don't have the roster that Raw has? Because SmackDown was a little bit of a smaller roster, I guess. But
I don't
2 hours.
It's that. I don't think it's that. I just think it's, Raw. We were so used to Raw being 3 hours on USA. Now we don't have that. We have Netflix.
And now it's so tight. There's nothing there's no filler. Like, there's very little. And
to be honest, USA Network wants a 3 hour wrestling product. They have their advertisers and stuff that they bring in regardless. So that's why we have 3 hours. But the one thing I really wanted to touch on, and Deb and I discussed that, saw some very interesting promos, not necessarily wrestling matches, but promos. And we saw real tears.
Good stuff.
And shout out to Caution Tape. Caution Tape is the New Year's statement. And of course, I am talking about the promo that Naomi cut. And yes, we are getting a heel, and I do mean heel Naomi.
Yeah. If you're feeling the glow, it's the thermonuclear heat coming off of Naomi now.
Yes.
It is. Yeah. She is. You know what? Again, they give you someone who turns heel, but what she says, is she totally wrong in what she's saying?
Well, I believe that's the trend.
You know what I mean?
Been seeing that, as dastardly and absolutely heelish as some of the things that Kevin Owens has done, it's kind of the similar thing. Is he wrong? He's kind of right. It's going about it in a very non-traditional way, but it's, you know, it comes down to, wow, it's different. And it's something that you don't quite expect or see. But, you know, every white hat needs a black hat. And evidently Naomi is finding that a black hat absolutely glows in neon. And I'm very excited to see how this goes, especially coming into WrestleMania.
Yeah, I caught up.
I just want to break it and say shout out to all the other podcasters we have out there. Mad Mac is out there, Big Nick Datillo's out there. We got some people out there, RJ. So you know,
shout out roughing it up.
Yes, and our very own Steven and Ezra with the Nation Sports Show as well. So shout out to everybody with their podcast. Feel free to drop the links in there.
Absolutely.
Now,
so I caught up on the clip of Naomi this morning, and I mean, I think my thing now that I can't actually watch SmackDown and I just watch the clips on YouTube is I think I get an interesting perspective then on like what's everybody talking about, like since I don't get to actually watch the whole show. Just what are the little moments that everybody's talking about? That's the stuff that I know I need to catch up on. And Naomi's promo was one of those things that was blowing up my feed on Twitter last night. That's what everybody was talking about from the show. Frankly, I think that was better than the Roman Punk Heyman segment. I really do.
We had real tears there too, though. Yeah. So there's really those two segments, those two parts right there.
Yeah.
When you see
highlights
grown
of the show
people,
for sure.
When you see grown people that make a living beating the shit out of each other, literally.
Yeah.
And then they break down with emotion like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's really something, and you know.
Naomi. So I just want to say this. Naomi has had a very interesting trajectory in her career. You know, her way up in WWE and then leaving, then going to TNA and kind of proving herself. Like she really proved herself in TNA that she could really like be good and
hey Deb,
outside of that structure.
Hey Deb, did you see Naomi having the trajectory of her career that she had when she left? You know, I think do you think a lot of people said, "Oh no," like they didn't worry about Sasha. But everybody said, "What is Naomi doing?" You know, so and everybody worried about that.
Honestly,
her career.
You're totally right because when they both left, you know, everybody was like, "Oh, Sasha, she'll be fine. She's a megastar. She's one of the best. She'll be fine." And there was that question of what is Naomi gonna do? Where
the sidekick?
Where's she gonna go? What can she do? She definitely proved herself in TNA enough that they brought her back fairly quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and you know, it just goes to show when you're either if you willingly or even unwillingly are forced to bet on yourself, that really shows when you are able to do this or not able to do it. Are you a product of the system you were in, or are you that good of a performer that can do it in any system? And absolutely, Naomi has proved and continues to prove that, yes, she can absolutely main event. She belongs at the top of the card and the top of the women's division in general. You
got a couple of people there too that have done that. They may have left on different circumstances, but they went out of the WWE bubble and bet on themselves and came back stronger and better and more popular. You got Cody, you got Drew McIntyre, you got Naomi, you know, and you know what? Who knows? Maybe one day it'll be Sasha coming back doing the same thing, you know. But never know.
All right.
Yeah.
You never know.
And
there will be
I
other
would say
people.
that this version of Naomi is absolutely the best version.
This is my favorite version.
All of the little parts of her combined to make the best version.
And she changed everything, hairstyle, makeup, that whatever. Yeah. Everything is totally different and absolutely refreshing and fresh.
Yes.
It's awesome.
And
yes.
All right. Speaking of the other non-wrestling segment on SmackDown last night, we had a contract signing. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk that we now found out is going to main event night 1 of WrestleMania. We'll get into that, but it's going to be so. And the very interesting part is, to me, Mike, Seth Rollins is the heel in this.
Seth is the heel.
You have three, arguably, outside of Cody Rhodes, 3 of the biggest baby faces and crowd reaction stars in WWE all in a match together. Somebody has to be the bad guy. And whiny bitchy Seth is really coming off rather heelish, especially after that promo last night. And God damn it, I absolutely love how they handled it, that you had a very real and poignant moment between the original Paul Heyman guy, CM Punk, and Paul Heyman, him telling him that it's in there, it's in the contract, you're closing the show at WrestleMania on night 1. And thus twofold, okay, we now know the main event of night 1 is going to be this 3-way match, and 2, he's cashing in the favor. That was the favor.
That was the favor.
Or so was it? Because Punk then turns and says, "Oh, by the way, that's not the favor." Meanwhile, Seth is basically over on the other side of the table throwing a temper tantrum, and here is Roman Reigns doing Roman Reigns OTC stuff, looking at Paul Heyman and CM Punk having this very poignant moment and personal moment between the two of them, with a look on his face like, look at these two motherfuckers over here. What is this bullshit? Everybody know that that's my wise man. And it creates such an interesting conversation about exactly, we know the match is going to be great. We know that the players involved. And before I let you guys comment, I just want to say one thing again as a public service announcement. If CM Punk does not show up in a promo somewhere or something with a Paul Heyman guy shirt on in a promo or something like that before this all happens, they're missing the boat, because that's what this is quickly. Seth is a part of it, and Seth is going to be annoying and bitchy until it goes through, and that's great. But the story is coming down to this might as well be a Paul Heyman on a pole match, because that's what they're fighting over. That's what they're fighting over. So thoughts?
So I have a few observations, and usually I go, yeah, I like this or I don't, but these are some observations I've been making lately. Okay, so Seth has been getting a lot heelish, and he's been getting less flamboyant in his attire. His attire has been dark. It's been
that suit he was wearing
was not. Let's just say Seth has been coming out the past few weeks and hasn't been making me want to puke.
Right, and certainly knee boots.
And also, I think Paul Heyman swerved Punk in that promo. I don't think Punk knew what Paul Heyman was going to say, thus getting the true emotion from CM Punk, because Paul Heyman was like he was on the witness stand swerving the jury, and Punk was the jury for New Jack. And he just wove and just came out of left field, man, and got Punk in the fields, and thus you got tears from Punk, which was awesome. So to me, getting Punk to cry that was a big deal. Naomi, that was just pure like I knew that Naomi could get that out of me. I just didn't know she was going to get it out of me, and she did, and
I think with
she
Naomi,
was so good, both of them.
With Naomi's tears, so as a woman, sometimes you tear up and cry just because of the passion and like even anger. Like sometimes you just cry from anger. And I think that's what it was, just her crying from that anger and that rage that she feels.
That I think,
and with Punk, it's it was a different situation.
Right.
Yeah, Punk is it's just like, wow, CM Punk is crying. But with Naomi is like, okay, this young lady, I'd say, what is it that Bully says, that the switch is flipped. That the switch flipped on, and she's getting ready to just go to another level. She's
All right.
But but that whole end promo, dude. The reactions, the facial expressions that Roman makes, the facials that Seth makes, the facials, Paul Heyman, how much more can we lather this guy's ass up, But he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. And then CM Punk is just fucking, he's seeing fucking Punk.
We're seeing this absolute,
this is
perfect
masterful.
Storm. Yeah. And Nick brought it up in the chat. Was that the favor? No. That's the whole thing. Now
which is what we got, just as we saw Paul Levesque's name and Nick Khan's name at the bottom of the screen.
Yes, and befitting. And
we
all
went.
That. But now, where we thought, again, and this is masterful storytelling. This is coming directly from one guy, Paul Heyman. And he absolutely knows exactly how to work and manipulate the players, the people, the story perfectly. And now, where we thought, this has to be the thing. No, it's not the favor. Now we still have to see what that favor is, because we were all so convinced that this was going to be, but now we don't have that. So now we're again back to speculating wildly, as Sam Roberts famously says, to what's the favor. And we're got to tune in now and find out. We got about 3 weeks left to figure it out. What if it doesn't?
Maybe the favor actually doesn't happen till Mania. Maybe something happens during the match.
Or after.
Punk says
after. Who knows? Maybe the favor is going to be at Backlash.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? But also too.
All right, not to be,
but just one more thing is, what if Paul Heyman tries to make the modern day Mega Powers just to try to appease both, because he doesn't want to turn on, he loves CM Punk, but we know he worships and loves, Roman Reigns. So that's his tribal chief.
Well, it's again, that's why I said this is going to be basically a Paul Heyman and a Paul mess.
We already saw that handshake. What if we see the other handshake, the proverbial Macho Man, Hogan?
Yeah. But
and you know what? Paul Heyman is not really Elizabeth, but Elizabeth was a way better thing to fight over.
Well, true, but conversely, it's definitely more aesthetically pleasing. But who else in WWE right now is worth fighting over to have in their corner? Nobody at all. And another thing,
I miss managers.
Well, it's kind of a dying art now, unfortunately. Yeah. But that's
can bring it back. You can get it back easily.
You could, but it is what it is for right now. But if you have Heyman in your corner, you're like, well, Mac, look at everyone, including CM Punk. CM Punk went from being basically a mid-carder in an storyline to the number one guy. Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns. The track record is absolutely there. And whoever has Heyman in their corner is absolutely going to be a top guy.
Yeah. I do want to point out this comment. We haven't gotten into the Cena and Cody situation yet, but I guess we could now. I'm wondering that as well. I think that's a good point. And we had now 2 promos from Cena where he was shitting on the fans, which was pretty funny.
Well, wait a minute. He broke up with me. I don't talk to him. I don't talk to exes. No, never. Not once, not never. Who's this? New phone. Who this?
Okay, so I'll say this. I think it's hilarious. So this when that kid called into Gio, that was Gio.
Yeah, the kid with the podcast,
when he called into Busted Open and was, talking about Cena and, here's this kid who has, gone through a lot of insane medical issues, and he's a Cena kid. He's like the poster child for the Cena kid. Right. And talking about how devastated he was. And it dawned on me, like, okay, this whole thing is meant for those Cena kids, those kids who just, adored him. And he was like their hero. The rest of us are sitting here going, this version of Cena is hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it's again, you have basically a generation now. If you look back at Cena's whole career, you have a generation, and now even the kids of that generation have bought in and invested. Well, why? Because my mom, my dad loves John Cena. And,
exactly.
And now he's just turned around and taken a giant dump all over it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I know Dave mentioned it on Busted Open the one day. That's the thing is that, there's a whole new generation now. The kids that are watching wrestling now are Cody kids. They're not Cena kids.
Right.
They weren't around when Cena was at his height. So
yeah, but you still see a lot of little kids wearing all the Cena stuff, and he's walking by.
No more. It's just the thing. It's just the thing.
And that one kid is a microcosm. The one that he pointed out that went viral and everything. Oh my God, that's just a microcosm. Yeah, there's a lot of upset, crying little kids, and I'm on board for it. Yeah. I love seeing them back in the day when I was.
You mean that kid?
You little shit. The same thing when I used to root against Hogan. Now it's just the cool thing to root against Hogan. Yeah. So fuck all you Johnny Latelys, Johnny come late.
Oh, I see Billy's comment in the chat. Is my audio choppy? I don't know.
A little bit.
Is it my Wi-Fi?
Maybe.
Oh, wow.
Could be one of us.
Yeah.
It might be
camera follows them around. But all right, anywho, let's switch gears figuratively. AEW has a pay-per-view coming up next week, next Sunday night, emanating from Philadelphia. Really?
Oh boy.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, if you're gonna be bold, be bold. It's over at Temple University at the Leacore Center, right there on Broad Street in beautiful downtown Philadelphia. But
where I was to see the third ever.
Never heard that word "beautiful" put before downtown Philadelphia, but go ahead.
Anywho,
well,
they try. They do try. But we are seeing things develop, especially leading into Dynasty. But might as well get it out of the way and get ready, Deb. THUNDERTITS has entered the chat. And yet again, a piece of absolute promo gold from Tony Storm and a cameo with friend of ours and friend of the show and friend of everyone's, Thunder Rosa.
Wait, alert the media. I see a front row is on.
Uh-oh.
Live.
We are international. Yes.
Viva la France.
Putting up with them sticky French people. But anywho, THUNDERTITS has entered the chat. And again, gold from Tony Storm, who just continues to absolutely knock out of the park every and any opportunity. I don't even care if it leads to anything. Just keep her on TV and doing these just absolutely amazing promos. Shout out to RJ City, who is very much in creative control of it, and to Tony for absolutely keeping us entertained for the past year or more with this timeless character and all its iterations, and continually just making her segments on AEW much watch every week.
Thumbs up to Tony too for breaking Renee.
Yes.
She made Renee break.
That was fantastic.
She made Renee break, definitely.
Yes.
And also for Thunder for getting the using whatever boobs she has to get the nice Thunder Tits chain going.
You know, as pointed out, you had people in the crowd at AEW doing signs, Thunder Tits signs on the fly, like at their seats so they can hold up during the match, which I think is fantastic and good for AEW and the fans for once, or for, I won't say for once, for there's something they can latch onto and get behind. And yes, they have for other things, but this is instantly caught fire.
It's a grassroots thing that you got to hold on to. Go ahead, Deb. Sorry.
I think AEW has been on a really, really great trajectory lately. And little things like this there's so many little signs that I observe week to week that tell me that they're on a good path. They're climbing up slowly but surely. They're climbing out of that hole.
They're figuring it out.
The crowds are getting a little bigger. The ratings are getting a little bigger, and that's what you need. The storylines are gelling, except for that.
Yeah.
The Death Riders. I can't wait till
Moxley. This thing with Thunder and Tony Storm is just perfect because, like you pointed out, John, this is something that just instantly, like a moment, like we talk about how pro wrestling is made up of moments, and this was just that one little moment that instantly got all the fans to be like, oh, that's it.
And that's coming on the heels of the promo she cut last week. And if you're gonna tell me that she memorized that promo, no, please,
no,
please. But, that was off the top of her head. She had bullet points that she wanted to hit. Probably, I know.
Yeah.
But that woman created cinema.
Yes.
And now this week she created, like live laughter, and now a freaking grassroots saying and movement.
I would not be surprised.
We need
a Team THUNDERTITS
t-shirt.
Yes. We
need it.
We discussed this last night. How you don't have one? Somebody give her a free t-shirt.
Come on,
aren't they in the same company with Chris
Jericho? Itself.
Right.
Aren't they in the same company with Chris Jericho? Chris Jericho says something, and before the mic leaves his lips, it's like available on shop.com, like the next commercial.
If we can have a little bit of the bubbly,
let's go.
Instantly.
Come on, Colt Cabana has those connections. Like, let's go.
Come on. What's the matter with you? Hello, McFly.
And for those of you who don't know exactly what we're talking about, click the link. Just click the link.
Okay, so I need a t-shirt. I need a t-shirt that says THUNDERTITS.
Yes.
Big. Okay, so
it's got to be the Thunderstorm.
We all know the Frankie
shirt.
Says Relax T-shirt, right? The Frankie Says Relax T-shirt.
Yes.
Okay, so that exact lettering from Frankie Says Relax.
Right.
THUNDERTITS.
Yes.
That's what I need.
Yes.
Or I was going to say, bring back the classic
insert
Thunderstorm
Batista
shirt.
gift. Give me what I want.
Yes.
Bring back the classic Thunderstorm shirt, like Thunder was wearing, except on Storm, have that cross to have tits written over Storm.
Yeah,
whatever. Figure it out. Figure it out.
There's a couple. Just
Figure
do
it. Shop AEW.com.
Thunder tits.
Yeah.
And get that shirt to Deb ASAP.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, just immediately, I imagine
how about
like the Frankie Says Relax in that lettering. Like
how about the
huge
woman's
block
shirt?
Lettering.
How about the woman's shirt? It says Thunder across the belly, and then you have two hands pointing up to their tits.
Perfect.
Come on,
That's three shirts.
Somebody has to have.
Deb, that's 3 shirts we just created for them right now.
I will wait for my check in the mail.
Yeah. We're cheaper than getting the rights to Thunderstruck, I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely. Way cheaper. Way cheaper. Sure. But
just give us a free shirt.
And Deb, you mentioned it, and Mike, you mentioned it as well. We got a really, really strong promo from Swerve Strickland Wednesday night on Dynamite. Really, really and we know Swerve is good on the mic, but man, he had me convinced after that promo. And I don't want to sound negative, but what are we doing with Moxley and the Death Riders? It just doesn't make sense.
I can't understand it. John, this is coming from a time I understand. I used to watch the Ultimate Warrior promos and not know what the fuck he was talking about, but it was the Warrior, and he was a Flash, and when he won the belt, he didn't stick the fucking title in a fucking suitcase. I'm tired of it. I want to see the fucking world title around somebody else's waist instead of in a fucking suitcase.
Well, that aside,
and plus my Long Island girl, Willow, I want to see her destroy
Marina versus Willow. Marina versus Willow.
Marina versus not that I don't like it's not like that I don't like the players. I just can't. If you put a gun to my head, I cannot explain to you in a million years what that fucking storyline or what John fucking Moxley is saying. I cannot. I'm sorry. And I love.
I know.
Mox.
Okay. So
help us out. Please help us out.
Okay.
Bless your
heart. I really want to like it. I really do. I love all the people involved in it. I love the idea. I love the premise.
There's no way I think you are a stupid woman. You are not dumb. I believe you are very bright and smart, but bless your heart for trying to explain this to us. I'm just going to say that ahead of time.
Okay, so I'm not going to explain what Moxley is trying to say because I can't. However, I think Elder Mongrovian, your reaction to it is
what he wants,
what they want. Like,
no, I'm not taking that one.
I've been on this theory for weeks, and I really, really think this every week. It keeps making me think this more that they are like they know that everybody wants Moxley to lose so freaking bad. And they're going to dangle that in front of your face as long as freaking possible. And he's going to retain a Dynasty, and then he's going to lose at All in Texas. And All In is going to be a big show. And when he finally loses, the pop is going to be massive because
who is it going to be? Is it going to be Ospreay?
Everybody wants him to lose, and it's building up and building up and building up.
Is it going to be Will Ospreay?
No.
I think it's going to be Hangman.
You think it's going to build it to Hangman because it's in Texas? And he's
I don't know, and that's the thing. And I think that's the beauty of it, honestly, is that there's legitimately like a few different people that
I think it's MJF.
Want to beat him.
I love the current version of Hangman. I love this current version of Hangman where he's just someone that's just pissed off, and he just wants to whoever gets in front of him, he's gonna rip their face off. It could be Moxley, it could be Max Caster saying he's the best wrestler in the world ever. You know, but
he got problems
it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's fun.
He has his own issues with the ops.
If you want to go. If you want to go for the super pop, I mean, a match between Mox and Ospreay going over on Mox and finally taking that fucking title out and showing it.
I'm going to say one name. MJF. They're starting to build that, and MJF has said he wants his title back.
You know, I love that idea.
I'm just saying. But you guys we're all kind of right. There's probably at least 5 guys that we can name off the top of our heads.
So you got at least that.
Sense.
We at least have that we have. Like usually you have like 1 or 2 people that we have a list of 4 or 5 people that are top people that we wouldn't balk at winning. We wouldn't balk at either one of them.
Like the last few weeks, yes, the whole Moxley Death Riders, no one knows what his cryptic promos mean and all that, but the title picture surrounding it is what's creating so much interest. Like people are interested, people are debating, people are speculating wildly. Like the big picture of it is working, whether people want to admit it or not, just because they don't understand what Mox is talking about.
Right.
So
that takes me right out of it. That's what takes me out of it the most, Deb. Is I like I said, I want to really like.
It's all working though.
Hey, as I see Steven in the chat, I just wanna wish of the AEW's very own Ricochet and his new bride, Samantha Irvin. I just want to wish them happy life together. They just recently got married, and when I see Steven, I always think of 2 people. I think of Ricochet and his promos, and I think of Booker T. Behind the announcement desk.
Shuggy, quack, quack.
And that just whenever I see Steven in the chat, I just want to mention those two are 2 of his favorites.
So that's another thing, Ricochet. He wasn't on this week because he was getting married.
Yes.
But so I really think that's another thing that's working in AEW. Like, whoever would have thought that Ricochet could be like a heel that you actually hate? And for me personally, it's even better because I really think that the biggest reason people hate him so much is because he has a beautiful wife. If he were not with Samantha, people would not hate him to the level that they do. And that is hysterical to me.
Well,
except
for that little squeal at the end of his promos, I don't mind him.
It's just like I said last night. That's just Shirani.
Yeah,
that's Shirani. That whatever that is makes me want to smash a freaking hammer over the back of his skull.
Anybody who doesn't know, just YouTube search Shirani. You'll get it.
While we're giving flowers out to AEW, I love the ops. Samoa Joe, Shibata, and Hook. How that came together, why I don't care. It is fucking fantastic. 3 legit badass guys. And and like you said, poor Max Caster getting choked out every week for a promo. And you're like, it's all right. It's fun.
That was just that.
It's so good. So good.
You know what? As much shit that sometimes we do, and a lot of people have given AEW. Let's give flowers. Thank you for bringing Samoa Joe.
you know,
thank you for that shit. You know,
Yeah.
Samoa Joe is he's another one that was over at the other place, and you know, like we said, we could say, hey,
and he had a
somebody
great
goes
run
here, somebody,
Yeah.
oh, they went here, now they're back here, and they're doing so great. But you know what? It goes both ways.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
He had a pretty good run in
crabgrass.
WWE. It didn't suck.
Yeah,
It was great.
Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. Sometimes it's crabgrass. You never know.
And it goes back to like what we said earlier. AEW they're figuring it out because you know all three of those guys. We all know how good they are in ring and everything else, but you know they've kind of had some start stuff and you know kind of wacky, you know, kind of dead-endish storylines and stuff and everything, but AEW as a whole is figuring it out, and now they have something again that you know fans are absolutely
John for the badass character that a second generation Hook, you know, to his father Taz, who despite his diminutive stature casts a very large shadow in a son, you know, his son's, you know, future. So to have him under the, you know, not to steal from Chris Jericho, under the learning tree of a Samoa Joe, a Samoa Joe and the wrestler Shibata.
Yeah.
What, you know, what better way?
Yeah. You know, and
just really
credit the AEW fans. They're getting it. They're understanding it that you know these are three legit badass guys.
And not only that, John, Hook is your quintessential TK AEW guy. That's the quintessential guy. He's not huge. He's not a big guy. I rag on that. But you know that's a separate issue.
But
Hook is a quintessential AEW homegrown talent.
Absolutely.
That came after the fact, not signed before, not from the bottom.
Else, but even like you just said, Mike, AEW, I think they're doing a fantastic job with the big men, Powerhouse Hobbs. You know, Lance Archer, Brian Cage.
Yeah, yes.
You know, big, strong, powerful guys, and they're just getting in there and beating the hell out of each other.
Kyle Osborne and what's his partner's
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis. Yeah. Speaking of, Mark Davis was on AEW a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Whew.
That's a big effing boy, man.
He is. Yes. He is a big boy.
That's a side of friggin' meat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of meat. Yes.
But you know,
so kind of on the hold on the same lines of like all of this stuff that we just brought up. There are a lot of things that have quietly started coming together in AEW.
Exactly.
The big men, the women's division.
They don't tell Starbies.
Hey, listen. I think they're repackaging Camille too. I think Camille's going to come back and going to be the first big woman to challenge.
I hope
Megan
so.
Dane.
We'll see.
Because
if they don't, they're dropping the ball on her. And they dropped it pretty far on her already. But they have a chance to redeem it.
But I do think that there's a lot of stuff coming together. Like, I don't really see, like, when we watch the weekly shows, I don't really see that there's any segments that, like, nobody's interested in or that people are like, oh, this is just bad. I think every segment has something that people can sink their teeth into, whether it's the character, whether it's the story, whether it's, you know, the action in the match. there's something like even Max Caster, like even the silly stuff that Max Caster is doing is really starting to hit with people. It's catching on.
Yeah,
he is coming out and he is being this like super arrogant but very unwarranted.
I'll fight anybody. I have this content.
Yeah, and then he just keeps getting his ass
I didn't say that one. No, not that
one. And he has the Max logo on his pants.
Yes.
He has the Max Caster has the Max logo on his pants.
I just want to see
a little touch. That's
now. You know what, Deb? I want to see Max Caster talking shit somewhere in the building every week, and Samoa Joe coming up behind him and choking him out.
Yeah.
I just want to see him get
I really want to see, selfishly, just for us. I really want to see Leo Sparrow make a guest appearance in AEW and Max. I really want just
and not as a cat. Of course, we know Leo Sparrow has played. He was the fake Sting. He was the fake Darby.
Right.
He was
all of those guys. You know. Oh no, the fake Sting might have been Steven Azure. I don't know.
Right.
But I know the fake Darby was Leo.
It's gotta happen at some point. Come on, just for us.
Yeah.
Just
real quick, if they want to continue with Max getting choked out by the ops, it's actually Shibata's turn, and have him do something with the Google Translate.
You know what?
It's
you're right, John.
Funny.
You know, have him every week. The ops runs across him, and different guys take him out every week. Yes. Till there's a matchup, and then I don't know. I see him doing the Kurt Hawkins thing. So
yeah.
Maybe he's having a talk with Brian Myers, at Creative Pro for,
maybe
on the side. Who knows? You Pat Buck, Brian Myers.
They know
this kind of work.
I hear they know each other. So,
I think so. Yeah.
Or at least heard of one another. So I'm sure they talk. But this hour has flown by.
It has.
And probably didn't get to half the things we wanted to, but that's what we do.
Even wanting more, bro.
Yeah.
And shout out to Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yes.
Who I am so
Brass
happy
Monkey.
for.
Brass Monkey now. Tony Khan, you have pockets that go to your ankles. Pull out some money, pay for the rights, get Brass Monkey for Speedball now.
Yes. His first pay-per-view match is on Dynasty. A 3-way for the international championship against Kenny Omega and Ricochet. We need Brass Monkey.
We want Brass Monkey. Give the people what they want.
I'd like to say one more thing too. I'd like to say happy heavenly birthday this week to Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, and to one of the people, one of the pillars of the Samoan dynasty, Umaga. Happy birthday to them. We acknowledge you, Umaga. And also a very special happy birthday to Nation's Corner's own friend, Ms. Hellbent herself. Yes, the Hellbent Vixen is celebrating her birthday today. A new AEW signee. Woo!
Been making big noise on Ring of Honor.
Yes.
Our friend Viva Van.
Yes.
Viva
she's
Van
been on Ring of Honor.
It would help if I said her name. I did
the
whole thing and then I leave out her
the whole
fucking
intro.
name.
I didn't say her name.
Viva
Van. We absolutely love her. We've been singing her praises for a long time. I was tweeting "Sign Viva Van" for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks until it finally happened.
You spoke it into existence.
You could see her every week on ROH.
Yes.
She's on Ring of Honor every week, and I hope that she makes her re-debut to AEW. She's been on a few times on just random matches, right?
Yeah. She's done various squash
That is
matches.
someone that is someone that you wanted that you could whatever you do, strap the rocket to, and that's
she's amazing.
That's a multiple championship holding, that's a title holding woman all over the place. There you go.
For anyone watching that is new to us, we interviewed her on this show like a couple years ago, so you could go back in our YouTube history and find that.
Yeah.
And she's a metalhead.
She's just incredible.
Yeah.
She's incredible. And
Very,
I'm so
very
happy
glad
for her
that
getting signed.
she's getting that bigger spotlight. All right.
Yes.
I have a few things. Number one, shout out Nation's Corner. On Location is out and about again tomorrow. Right around the corner, literally at the world famous Monster Factory. Fight Pro is putting on one of their Enter the Fight promos or matches. And those not familiar, if you like blood sport and that hybrid kind of combat / pro wrestling type of matches, that's what Fight Pro is. And going to be seeing several friends of mine and the show there tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Shout out to the amazing Brittany Brooks, who was gracious enough to co-star me in my 15 or 30 seconds of fame in the promo that she did with me last week at the big event in Long Island, New York. And folks, if you have not watched the interview of Chris Bay with Chris Van Vliet and or the FSW, the Benefit show, please watch it. Please, if you can, hit up the GoFundMe, buy the t-shirts. They now have the Greatest Story Ever Told shirts, which I had ordered, that they were showing prominently at the FSW show. The proceeds, of course, going to Chris. It is an absolutely heart-wrenching but inspiring story of what this man has gone through and continues to go through and the progress that he has made. I am 53 years old. It made me cry watching
cutting onions,
watching the interview and watching at the very end of the FSW show. Please, if you can search out the GoFundMe and help Chris out. He has a very long road, despite the remarkable progress he has made already. And we just want to say, we love you, Chris. We're thinking of you always. And please, please keep going. You don't know how many people you inspired with your story and being so open about it. And I think that's about it. So, Mongrovian, where can the fans and folks get with you?
Well, you can catch me here every week. You can catch me on the socials, Mongrovian Mike. You can catch me at Creative Pro shows. I'm pretty much at every one of those. You catch me at Victory Pro shows. I'm pretty much at every one of those. Speaking of which, Brittany, you were speaking about Brittany Brooks. Somebody sign that lovely young woman. She is friggin' great.
It's coming.
She could be a face. She could be. Just sign her. We seen John. How great is she?
She's great.
Yelling at the kids. Yes.
Yeah. She absolutely works the crowd. Fantastic. And her
wonderful.
Also coming off of ACL surgery.
Yes.
With her knee.
Yeah.
Buy merchandise. Buy merchandise from your local independents.
As always, support indie wrestling.
Do
support
that.
Indie
Buy
wrestling. Support indie wrestling.
Buy the stickers. Buy the sheet T-shirts. Buy the stuff. Hoard it. You never know, because when they get signed one day, years from now, they'll be superstars.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Exactly.
That's right.
All right. Deb?
I am at That's So Debonair on the Twitter machine, on Instagram, on the bluest of skies. And everybody knows to click the link, so just click the link, if you want to, no pressure.
Yes.
And
look at the picture she put out earlier. Click the goddamn link. My God. Breaking the internet, she is.
So I also wanted to say
might get a free sub. I don't know.
Okay. So
hey,
about
Gabby Forza, Deb's got a crush on your hubby.
Stop it! What is wrong with you?
Sorry.
Oh yeah, great.
I suck.
Put the poor girl get heat from the big, huge.
Nah, they're officially. The Savage Gnomes are officially the Nation's Corner Crew's favorite fucking couple out there.
Oh my God,
they are officially our favorite
Bronson be any
wrestling
freaking
couple.
Cuter? Seriously.
Can the both of them? I mean, you don't even need any sugar in your coffee with those two.
No. And these are
really
two behemoths.
So,
these are two huge.
And not only that, they could fuck you up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two huge jack people.
Let's go.
Yes, they are. Okay. So one last thing really quick. I just want to say about the Chris Bay thing. I have not finished the interview with Chris Van Vliet yet. I started watching it the one day at work, started tearing up at work and had to stop watching it. And I will get back to it when I have the emotional capability to watch that whole interview. But you guys know that ABC was like my favorite tag team in TNA, and I love Chris Bay so much. I absolutely adore Ace Austin. So I am so like patiently waiting for the moment that Chris feels like he's good enough to come back to the ring, and it's gonna happen. It's going to happen at some point. And when he comes back to the ring and has a match with Swerve, there will not be a dry eye in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Just him walking out.
I hope I can watch it live.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Bay.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
That's it.
And, of course, all right, I am John in South Jersey. I don't do this thing because Deb's better coordinated than I am. But as mentioned previously, always hashtag Nation's Corner on location. Got some interviews coming up. We're going to be talking to some people soon. So keep tuned to our socials and our YouTube channel for them when they come out and drop.
And if you don't tune in, you'll be unforgiven.
Yes, you will be. And very interesting developments with that we have to talk about when we get to that point. But anyway, as always, hashtag Nation's Corner on location. Let us know who you're seeing. Support indie wrestling. Support indie wrestlers. They're still the best bang for your buck. Nobody has thousands of dollars to waste on Wrestlemania, but you can spend under $50 and see a first-rate indie show. Literally anywhere. Like, a perfect example, 4 blocks from my house. I can go see indie wrestling every weekend.
Beautiful.
And usually do. If not, they come and bang on my door and yell at me because they know me.
Or GCW. Go to any show if you're in Vegas.
Mike, we are next week, Deb.
Next Sunday. I'm so excited.
I can't wait. I want to hear this next week. Our next match, scheduled for one fall. It's a fucking death match. I can't wait for everyone to see that. The look on your face. I am so waiting for that. And you're going to have the most amazing time. I cannot wait. It's going to be so fun. Absolutely so fun. Deb and I are
Debhausen.
Debhausen. Deb. I want to
be our girl.
Will you be my girl?
Oh my God.
We're just trying to be a better audience. That's what we're trying to be. We're trying to be.
I want to know. Will you be my
All right,
girl?
let's end this show.
Let's
end this show.
We're unsupervised. I have the keys to the fort. I'm not ready to give it up yet.
Front row's ready to jump off the Eiffel fucking tower now.
I don't care. He's across the fucking ocean. I don't care.
I want him to get one of those Frenchie caps that says Rusty on it. Like,
I believe that's called the beret. I think. Maybe. Anywho, before we go way off the rails, and
I love you guys, man. Have a great night.
NSTB. One last thing. Of course, you can always keep up with the exploits of the most dangerous weapon in all of professional wrestling. Of course, I am talking about the AK9K, the Ass Kicker 9000. And you can follow his exploits, soon to be a version 4.0, on Instagram at AssKicker9K. So for Debhausen, for Mongrovian Mike, I am Yes, the world's greatest grandpa. We are out. We are going to go watch Collision or also GCW on at 9 o'clock tonight from St. Louis. So we're going to go watch some wrestling. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week.